Live na, ma'am.
Ayan. Thank you po, Miss Len. Hello po. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon po, ma'am.
Kumusta po kayo, Sir Vince? Hello, Ma'am Icon. Dali na, saan ba tayo? Ayan. Kumusta ang weather dyan sa inyo, Sir Vince?
Okay naman po,
Parang
ma'am.
nasa same na lugar na tayo.
Medyo makulimlim lang, ma'am.
How about sa silang, Ma'am Icon? Nasa silang po kayo ngayon. Sige, wait lang po natin ang ating host. So, hello po mga ka-Pix Pro. Good afternoon. Ayan, welcome po sa ating Casey. Kwentong cyber for this month. So, ano bang date ngayon? This is March 14. So, we are from Quezon chapter and today we have a very interesting topic. No? I think maraming talagang naglo-look forward dun sa topic natin. Especially yung ating mga students na nandyan. Ayan, mag-comment naman kayo guys kung saan kayo galing na chapter, asan kayo ngayon. Shoutout po kayo sa ating live. Yan, tingnan natin kung may mga nag-comment sa ating live. Sir Vince, may nakikita ka bang live? Ako ay medyo
As of now,
nalolos.
wala pa ako nakikita.
Ayan. Siguro nag-prepare pa sila. So, we're looking forward for a very interesting topic ngayon. Ako, looking forward ako kasi although we are aware, no, kung ano ba yung mga laws na kailangan alam natin. Pero minsan kasi, di ba, Sir Vince, minsan hindi natin sure na bibigay tayo ng data or tama ba na nagpo-provide tayo ng mga data natin kapag may mga applications or merong mga forms tayong sinasagutan, di ba? Ayan, Sir Kim, ready na po kayo? Yung ating bagong
Ina-adjust
host
ko lang
po
po
ay...
yung ina-adjust ko lang po mga ma'am and sir, yung aking pang background. I'm so sorry po. Nagiging
It's,
cut off sila yan.
it's okay, Sir Kim. Pag hindi talaga carry, basta kita namin ang iyong kagandahan ay sapat na yun. Pag di po talaga ma-update, it's okay. You can, we can go. Ang mahalaga, andito ka. Wow, humuhugot. Ayan,
Marami na po tayo mga yun nagko-comment ngayon. Good afternoon po sa ating mga viewers. Ayan. Nakikita ko na sila, Ma'am Andy.
hello, ayan. Hello sa mga ating viewers, sa ating mga ka-Pix Pro. Shout out naman kung nasan kayong chapter or location. So, may greetings po from Quezon chapter, sabi ni Rosalie. Ay, nakita ko si Sir Ben. Hello po, Sir Ben. Si Sir Ben Isra, ayan. Isa din sa very active na ka-Pix Pro natin. Si Sir Ben, di ko pa masyadong nachichika. Pero we're looking forward po sa collaboration ng ating napag-usapan before. Hello po. Ayan, good afternoon po ka-Pix Pro from Rejoice Fernandez. Yan, greetings po from Ascot, Zabali Campus. Wait lang po natin ang ating host. So, hello po. Ayan. Sir Kim, take it away. Nakamute ka, Sir Kim. Naka-unmute. Ayan.
Hello po everyone. Sorry po, hindi ko ma-apply yung background ko kasi may problem ata. Kasi
It's
yung
okay.
PC yung gamit ko. I'm so sorry everyone. Pero I know, nakagaya ng sinasabi ni Ma'am Andy kanina, no, maganda yung pag-uusapan natin ngayong hapon. Pero bago yan, no, batiin muna natin yung mga nanonood sa ating FB Live at sa mga kasamahan natin dito kay Attorney Francis Jason, kay Sir Vince Dumka, and Ma'am Icon, also kay Ma'am Andy. Good afternoon po everyone. And sa lahat ng ating mga viewers sa FB Live natin, good afternoon everyone. For sure ako na marami tayong matututunan ngayong araw na to because aside sa napakaganda ng topic natin, ay napakagaling ng ating speaker for today. Okay? So I think naman excited na sila Ma'am Andy, no?
Yes, I'm sure kanina pa nag-iintay ang mga yan.
Grabe yung mga comment nila sa mga estudyante ng PUP Lopez. Good afternoon everyone.
Parang hindi sa halatang required sila.
Hindi halata ni
Oo. Pero hindi, talagang even ano, may classes, yung ibang mga students, saktong wala silang classes. So, magjo-join din sila.
So ayan. Yun, bumabati sila na president daw from the IT2, si Senchan. No,
Sino
sa lahat ng mga
yun?
estudyanteng ito, maraming salamat sa inyo ngayon pala. Okay? So, Ma'am Andy, what's the next? I think pwede na nating simulan.
Yes, sir. Officially, we can start na our Casey. So, go
So,
ahead.
I think pwede ko nang ipakilala yung ating speaker ngayong araw na to. Kasi mukhang excited na yung lahat ng mga viewers natin. And of course, ako din excited na ako, Ma'am Andy. Even I think si Sir Vince and Ma'am Icon, excited na rin sila. At
I'm sure
mga
pati si Sir Mario excited din. Silent mode, lang siya ngayon, pero nandyan siya.
yes. Nanonood yun. Mamaya manonood yun. Okay?
Yes.
So, ipapakilala ko na yung ating speaker ngayong hapong ito. Okay? So, allow me first to introduce our speaker for this afternoon. Esteemed guest, honored colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, it is with the utmost pleasure and profound respect that I introduce our distinguished resource speaker for this auspicious occasion, Attorney Jason A. Francisco. Attorney Francisco, remarkable career trajectory stand as a compelling testament to his exceptional intellectual prowess, unwavering professional dedication, and profound commitment to both an intricate legal landscape and the dynamic energy sector. His distinguished tenure as the Senior Energy Market Compliance Manager at the prestigious Aboitiz Power Corporation, consistently punctuated by accolades for unparalleled compliance achievements, served as a powerful testament to his meticulous attention to detail, strategic foresight, and exceptional leadership abilities. His accomplishments extend far beyond the confines of the corporate world. Attorney Francisco's significant contribution to the academic community, evidenced by his prominent faculty appointment as both the College of Law and the College of Engineering, underscore his dedication to nurturing the next generation of legal and engineering professionals. His pivotal role in shaping the regulatory framework of the Philippine energy industry is evidenced by his active participation in the governance of the Philippine Electricity Market Corporation, further underscore his profound influence on the sector. Moreover, his unwavering commitment to public service is eloquently demonstrated by his multifaceted engagement as a bar exam coach, bar operation commission advisor, and legal consultant, roles which reflect his dedication to upholding the highest principles of justice and contributing to the betterment of society. Attorney Francisco's extensive expertise encompassing a profound understanding of law, an intimate familiarity with intricacies of energy regulations, and a deep-seated commitment to public service renders him uniquely and supremely qualified to illuminate the complexities of the topic today, which is about the digital privacy and the different laws about it. Therefore, let us, with the utmost enthusiasm and profound admiration, extend a most cordial and effusive welcome to the STEM resource speaker for today. Ladies and gentlemen, to our viewers for today, let us all welcome Attorney Jason A. Francisco.
Hello.
Opo, attorney. Good afternoon po.
Good afternoon. Thank you very
Good
much
afternoon po,
for
sir.
hello. Good afternoon. Thank you very much for the generous introduction and hello to the members of Pix Pro and to the live audience in your Facebook page. So hello everyone. I appreciate the um yung number of audience that we have right now. We all know that we all have uh, what do you call this? We all have this after work or after school some recreations during this time, but you choose to watch an informative and learning session about digital privacy and cyber laws. So I'm here to or I was tasked to discuss our rights, no? The rights that we have in terms of digital privacy and cyber law. So I prepared a simple presentation. So if you indulge me to allow the sharing of my screen, I'll share my screen in a few. I want to know if my screen is visible.
Yes po, sir. Visible po. Clear po.
Okay, so let me start no. So again, no, good afternoon everyone. So I'm here to present the how should we understand our rights, no, in digital privacy and the cyber laws in the country. So of course, the coverage of my presentation here is about the data privacy of 2012, it's RA 10173, and also the Cybercrime Prevention Law, which is RA 10175. Um, I also opted to discuss some Supreme Court cases relative to cyber laws. It's, I think, relevant to our discussion for this afternoon. So, okay, so I'll proceed with the first one, no? Which is um, the data privacy of 2012. But before that, let's understand first what are the types of data and information. Kasi I think kailangan natin maintindihan um yung kumbaga to exercise our rights, alam natin kung anong klaseng information are yung information that we have, no? Anong type of information yung mga ganitong data based on our existing laws. So, with that, no, I summarized the data or classification of data and information according to the two laws that we have in 5 categories. We have personal information, number one. We also have sensitive personal information. So that's different from the first item. Third one is the privileged information. The next is subscribers information and traffic data or non-content data. So for the first one, no, yung personal information, from the classification itself, no, it is stemmed from our personal data, no. Under RA 10173, this type of information are sourced from the identity of the individual, which are apparent or reasonably and directly ascertained, obvious, no? Or when combined with other information, would directly or identify an individual. So, anong example nito? So, pangalan natin, no? It's a personal information, our address, no? Our contact number, email address. So, collectively, this type of information would reasonably ascertain the identity of the individual, no? So the classification, this type of information is classified as like the general personal information. So why do I say it's general? Because on the next item, we also have sensitive personal information. So when you say sensitive personal information, now from the classification itself, it's originated or um it's also part of the personal information, but it is classified to a more sensitive um classification. What are the examples of sensitive personal information? Like the race of the individual, marital status, age, religion, even political affiliations, health of the individual, his or her education, genetics or um, information which are issued by government agencies which are peculiar to the individual. What are the examples of this information? Like social security numbers, SSS, tax returns, medical records, no? Also an example of sensitive personal information. Passport information like passport number, license number if you are a licensed individual. So those types of information are classified as sensitive personal information. Then let's go to the privileged information. We have privileged information, the third type of data, which constitutes a source from a privileged communication relationship. What are the examples of privileged information? For example, data or information from the doctor-patient um, or doctor-patient records. Those types of information are classified as also as privileged information. Attorney-client communication, no? So for example, I have a client who's been providing me information related to the case that he or she is consulting to the lawyer. So those information are privileged information. Then let's go to the fourth type of information. We also classify this as subscribers information. Now this type of information is under the definition of RA 10175, which is the Cybercrime Prevention Law. So this type of information is yung yung mga information which are held by a service provider, no? There is a third party handling our information. Tawag natin dyan is service provider relating to a subscribers of its services, no? For example, our information when we subscribe to a network, no, or a mobile network, say for example Globe, Smart, no, or Token Text. Yung mga information na yon are classified as subscribers information. So long as there's a service provider that handles our information, no? Geographic address, no? Ano mga types of information yung handle nila, usually billing information. Say for example, Quezelco or Meralco, no? Information that they possess coming from the individual is a subscriber's information. No? Billing information, subscriber's identity, account number, no? Billing information. So those are subscribers information. And lastly, we also have this kind of information which is classified as traffic data or non-content data. Under our existing laws, these are computer data other than the content of the communication, which includes the origin of the communication, the destination, route, time, date, no? Ano example nito? In the individual's IP address logs or timestamps and timestamps of email exchanges, no? These are data that came from a computer, which are which form part as the content of a data or communication. So medyo technical yung classification ng mga information, but is relevant of how we exercise our rights. So let me proceed on the first law that we have to discuss. Uh, Number one is the data privacy. No? Dalawa lang naman yung batas na i-discuss natin this afternoon. Kaya lang medyo broad yung parehong batas. So I did my best to summarize whatever relevant information that we need to understand. And siguro after this session, I challenge everyone's watching right now to read the entire yung contents of the law so that you'll know the specific rights that you have. No? Okay, let's start with the rights under data privacy. So we have right to be informed. No? So right to be informed, before we discuss pala the specific rights, no? I'm sorry, I have to say this because I appreciate actually the advocacy of Pix Pro because in this time, in today's day and age, no, that we are governed by the digital information, which have brought immense benefits to each and every one of us, but on the other aspect of it, it also mirrors a significant privacy concerns. So while we enjoy having digital platform in several areas of our lives, we have to take note the sensitivity of what we do online. So this law captures how we should treat the data and information we see and the data and information that are revolving around us. Okay. So that's why it's important that we classify the information according to its classification. Because under the data privacy law, we need to understand this information so that we know how should we protect it, and the government agencies involved would understand how the individual should be protected as well. So on our specific rights, no, kanina nga na-present ko. Number one is right to be informed. No, it's quite self-explanatory, but it's a fundamental right that we need to know if no the data is being collected, no, from us, and also we need to understand why the data is being collected. So if someone is collecting your personal information, you need to ask, no, as to the reason why it's being collected, and who is collecting it, and who will process the data or information. So it's the transparency that we need to always consider. So next is right to access. No? We all have right to access under our existing laws. The right to access is access to our data. So we can see or we can request, no, to see what information is being held about us and how the information or data is being used. So we need to understand those things. So that's right to access. Next right is right to correction. No? We also have the right to correct whatever inaccuracies are corrections that need to be implemented so that errors we found in the data or information may be corrected accordingly. So that's why, 'di ba, if nano-notice nyo, may mga forms, online forms na tinatanong tayo if sure na ba tayo of the data or information that we have provided so that we are allowed to correct those data or information. So nakikita niyo yung mga rights na to. Pero those rights are actually defined by our existing laws. Right to correction. Of course, if we have right to correction, let's proceed to the next intensive right, which is right to erasure or blocking. As the owner of the data or information, there is a or there, in certain situations, we can even request that our data be deleted or blocked. No? As for example, we later on identified that it's crucial for us to protect our data from unlawful or unauthorized use of the information. Then we can request for the one who will process our data or information to block or delete the data that they process from the individual. Next right, which is right to data portability. No? To explain what data portability is, it's a right that allows the individual to take the data with us. No? Kumbaga, I'll bring the data with me. No? You have no right, for example, on the process owner to retain the data. So the individual can receive the information in a format that it's easy to transfer to another service provider. For example, one individual will transfer a subscription to another service provider, then he has the right to have the data portability. Next, right to object. No? So if an individual has an objection, especially for he doesn't want to use the data or information from him to use it as in direct marketing purposes, for example, the individual has the control of how data should be um, used. So if the individual doesn't want the data to be used for a certain purpose, then your the individual has a right to object, no, to the process owner or the service provider. Last, I think, is the right to damages. No, it's somewhat related to if there's an injury or a concern from an individual that would seek compensation. So, if an individual suffer damages due to the violation of data privacy, no, then the aggrieved person has the right to seek compensation. So of course it's done in a competent authority, which will be discussed later. Okay. So after assessing these rights, no, we'll proceed to what are the prohibited acts. No, ito yung importante. Ano yung mga pinagbabawal ng data privacy law? So one is unauthorized processing of personal information. No, so unauthorized processing of information, andyan na siya, no? It's um, a illegal processing of personal or sensitive information without, the keyword there is the absence of the consent of the party or without doing it without legal authority. No? Malaki ang fines nito. So if you're reading the slide, no, 500,000 pesos to up to 4 million pesos depending on the um severity of the offense. And of course, that will not just require the payment of the fine, but also there's a criminal aspect, no, which will kumbaga the person will suffer imprisonment of 1 to 3 years or 3 to 6 years, no, depending on the gravity of the offense. Yan, so unauthorized, no? Paano nangyari to? For example, yung individual has signed up a certain subscription, tapos yung data or information um, was used to another purpose that is not authorized by the parties involved. Then, yun yung unauthorized processing. So, 'di ba? Kanina na-emphasize natin yung right to be informed. That includes the information that the individual should know anong purpose nung paggagamitan ng data or information from him or her. So dapat alam natin kung saan gagamitin. pag hindi nila pag ginamit nila to another purpose that is not consented by the individual or the group of persons, or there is no authority or legal authority from the one processing it to have it transferred or use it to another purpose, then that will fall on this prohibited act. Next item is, okay, we also have this accessing personal information due to negligence, no? So, ano yung prohibited acts under the law? It's the negligence in providing unauthorized access to personal data. So for example, yung computer that contains the data or personal information was not password protected and it was accessed by um, other individuals, no, that has no authority to access the personal data or information from group of persons, then it's also a punishable offense. No, the imprisonment here is 1 to 3 years and 500,000 to 2 million pesos, depending on the severity of the offense. Okay, so dapat maingat yung the one who's protecting the data or information of the individual. No? Next, improper disposal of personal information. So, ano yung improper disposal? It's improperly disposing the personal data leading to unauthorized access. So, for example, hindi niya dinilit niya yung information because of data portability or the right of person to um, mobilize the data that they have, and then it was not truly deleted, no, or it was only transferred to archives, for example, that can be resurrected, no, by another individual who has no authority to resurrect the data, then it's part of improper disposal. So that's also an offense under the data privacy law. 4, we also have um, processing for unauthorized purposes. No? So this is using the data for purposes not authorized by the data. No? So nakita nyo, mahaba din yung imprisonment and fines 500,000 to 200,000. Depende kung personal information or sensitive personal information yung involved the data or information. And as to the imprisonment, up to 7 years yung tagal ng pagkakakulong. Unauthorized disclosure. Ito, common to. No? If for example, I am the one possessing the data or information that should be treated as confidential or private, no? Because it's a sensitive personal information or it's a mere personal information, and I disclose it to another party, no? Uso pa naman yan sa Pilipinas. No? Yung, huy, may nalaman ako, may nagsubmit sa amin ng gantong file, nakita ko, may 5 na pala yung anak niya. Ganyan-ganyan. Sinabi niya to another person, it's an authorized disclosure to third parties without the consent is prohibited. No? If proven, no? If personal data, 1 to 3 years, 500,000 to 1 million, o, di ba? Or kapag sensitive personal information siya, 500,000 to 2 million pesos. So the keyword there is the consent of the owner of the information. If it is done without consent, then it is an offense. Hindi ko na lang nalagay dito, the sixth part is the combination. No, hindi naman siya one size fits all na dapat classified siya sa 1 to 5. Pwedeng combination yung offense. So kapag combination yung offense, mas mataas yung penalty. So let's proceed to how do we exercise the right, no? Procedurally. Paano tayo magrereklamo, no? Pwede tayo mag-file ng complaint kay NPC. Of course, we have to file it with necessary evidence. No? We cannot just say na our data or information was um kumbaga infringe, or our privacy has been infringed, no, or there was an unauthorized access or processing, we have to prove it, no, or we can file a criminal complaint before the office of the prosecutor, or if there is a need for compensation due to injuries of the unauthorized processing, kumalit yung information sa internet, and you were suffering moral and sleepless nights, moral damages, then you can file civil action. So another question here is, pwede ba tayo mag-file ng sabay-sabay depende sa severity or depende sa ground if applicable? Yes. No? Sa NPC, it's more on fines and administrative ruling. Sa criminal offenses or criminal complaint, imprisonment and civil action is more on the damages. Okay. So that's the first one, no? Mamadaliin ko na kasi I just have few minutes to wrap up, no. We'll go to the next item, the Cybercrime Prevention Act, no. It's RA 10175. Okay. So what are the rights? No, right to privacy. We all have the right to invoke the privacy. Pero later may interesting Supreme Court case dyan about the right to privacy. Okay. Right against cybercrime. Of course, if there's a crime committed against the person, then we all have the right to file a complaint. No? Then, but wait, let me go back to the cybercrime. What are the inclusions of the cybercrimes? There are the following: cybersex, child pornography, online libel. No? So libel is a crime that parang there's a malicious defamation on the part of the accused, no, may pagpapahiya na nangyayari by means or by the use of technology. So kaya lang siya online libel because the means or mechanism used by the accused is the social network insights or digital platforms. Due process, alam natin yan, no? Right to information, no? We also have those rights as explained also in RA 1073. Access to legal remedies, we'll explain that. And syempre may mga international concerns about data privacy and cybercrime because some criminals right now, no, yung mga cyber criminals na existing in the right now, meron silang mga syndicates, no, which are which are operated inter-country. So this law also establishes that we have mechanism to in combating the cybercrime internationally. Okay. So what are the prohibited acts under this law? Number one, no, offenses against confidentiality, integrity, availability of computer data or system. Number one, illegal access. Alam natin yan. So if we don't have the access on the data, it's considered as illegal access. Next, illegal interception. No, if we don't have the right to intercept on a specific data, then it's an illegal interception. Data interference, system interference. Partly then yung misuse of devices. Ano yun? Unauthorized use, production, or possession of devices or data, like passwords, which are intended for committing cybercrimes. Cyber squatting, medyo technical to, no? But let's understand. Cyber squatting is a bad faith acquisition of domain names similar to existing trademarks or personal names to profit or misleading purposes. Okay. So next prohibited act is computer-related offenses. No? So computer-related offenses like alteration or inputting data to create inauthentic information. Duplicate natin yung data or information from an individual, but we alter it for our cybercrime purposes or for fraudulent purposes. No? Manipulation of data of information, and identity theft. Ito yung usong-uso ngayon na part or offense that is rampant in our existing generation. It is an authorized acquisition or misuse of another's identifying information. Content-related offenses, cybersex, child pornography, unsolicited commercial communications, and online libel. Ito yung mga other prohibited acts under cybercrime prevention law. Penalties, no? Depending on the variation or how severe the omission or the crime was committed, no? The imprisonment will range from the prison mayor to reclusion temporal. Hindi ko lang kabisado kung ilang years yan. But we can check the revised penal code. And fines ay 50,000 to 1 million pesos depending on the offense. So question, pwede bang may violations RA 10173 tapos RA 10175? Yes. So on top of everything that we have discussed a few minutes ago, pwedeng mag-suffer ang violator of these penalties. So what are the legal? Ito yung pinaka-importante na slide that we have to take note. If there are hacking happened, no? Ito yung pinaka-rampant na nangyari in today's day and age. I think our viewers would relate kasi it's either personally they experience it or someone in their friends or family members have experienced the hacking part. So if we can file a complaint under the cybercrime prevention law for the unauthorized use or access of computer system, we can seek remedies under the data privacy law. We can file a complaint before the National Privacy Commission or NPC. We can file civil action for damages if merong injury on our part. Ito yung isa sa mga pwede niyong tingnan. Request for the preservation of computer data under rule on cybercrime warrants. Familiar naman kayo sa search warrants, diba? Merong search warrant din, particularly for example, yung ginamit na pang-hack is cellphone, no? Pwedeng mag-apply ng cybercrime warrant para tingnan ng authority or law enforcement yung laman ng cellphone na ginamit or computer na ginamit for illegal access. Yun yung tinatawag na cybercrime warrant. May separate rules yan under the law. And lastly, kung gusto nating malaman kung sino yung commit ng prohibited acts na ito, we can coordinate to the PNP Anti-Cybercrime Group, let's remember these things, or NBI Cybercrime Division. They have the capability to trace yung IP address or particular location of someone's the one who committed the crime or the prohibited act so that matrim down ninyo nung complainant who actually committed the offense. And of course, they will use it, the NBI or PNP, they will use it for investigation and prosecution purposes. Ito, mga Supreme Court cases. No? Ito yung last part na. So, we have a case in 2023, Katani Masangkay versus People. Naging robbery yung offense or classified siya as robbery because there was an extortion of money to the minor. The minor was threatened to post nude photos in social media. So nakita nyo na any crime can be committed, and if there's a use of technology, the crime can be aggravated, no, to a higher degree or higher offense, no. So kasi merong intimidation na nangyari kaya classified siya sa robbery, yeah, by the use of technology. It's an interesting case, no. You can check the Supreme Court ruling in this case. Ayan yung reference, no. GR number 261156. We also have People versus JJJ. It's a case of conviction of qualified trafficking in persons with the use of technology. So, di ba mga crimes ngayon, most of the crimes ngayon pwede na makommit through the use of technology. So if there's a qualification or qualified stage of the offense, then yun na mag-a-apply. And lastly, we have People versus Suleiman. The online libel is also stating that the imprisonment and fines are alternative penalties. Sa isang banda, we have this interesting case happened in 2014. So medyo idedetalye ko ng konti kasi I think magiging relatable to sa audience natin. So this is a case of Vivares versus St. Teresa's College. So let's call it STC. Ang nangyari dito is, no, yung mga estudyante, may mga estudyante ng school na to, nag-upload sila ng mga revealing photos. And then it was identified as inappropriate by the school. So remember, this is a Catholic school, so may special laws sila or ruling sila on this item. Then the school accessed the photos because these are uploaded in the Facebook page, the Facebook accounts of the students, no, and use them as a basis to impose disciplinary action. Now, the parents filed a complaint or petition for the writ of habeas data alleging there's a violation of right to privacy. Ito yung interesting dito. Meron bang violation ng right to privacy? Kasi in-upload naman nila sa Facebook page ng mga anak nila. Account nila yon, no? Meron ba tayong right to privacy on that? But sabi ni Supreme Court, no, interestingly, no, sabi ni Supreme Court, our right to privacy is not absolute. The court found that the photos were not private because they were accessible to the Facebook friends of the students. And the privacy setting do not guarantee absolute confidentiality. So kung na-access siya ng mga friends mo, hindi siya private, 'di ba? So the court also noted that the student failed to exercise due diligence in protecting the privacy of or restricting the access to their post. Now, before I proceed, kung sabi ni Supreme Court, hindi ko na lang nalagay dito. Sabi ni Supreme Court, the only time that an individual may invoke the privacy if nakapost siya ng only me. No? 'Di ba? May ganong option sa Facebook or any social networking site. No, pwede ka mag-post tapos naka-only me siya. Tapos it was accessed by someone, no? So that's the time that someone can invoke the right to privacy. So kahit may nakakita niya na restriction na friends except, or 'di ba may mga ganon, or only few groups lang yung makakakita ng post mo, it's still not considered as private. So for example, mga students, no, nagrarant sila online at leading to defamation na sa school. Pero the post was viewed, no? The post can be viewed by, say for example, a certain group, only a certain group, no? Uso pa naman yung sa Instagram, yung close friends, no? Yung part na yon, hindi mo pwedeng invoke as right to privacy kahit merong close friends, no? Because by mere posting it, you waive your right as for privacy or those information na pinost mo because it can be accessed by these friends. And these friends can share the post to other entities because it's not private. So there's no expectation of privacy on that part if we will follow the Vivares ruling. So what are the things that we learn in this case? The privacy in the digital age, the responsibility of internet users, and of course, how information should be classified if it's whether public or private. So the content shared in the social networking sites, even with limited privacy setting, may still be considered public if it can be accessed or shared by others beyond the intended audience. Okay? And some tips to end my presentation. Have your social networking sites or digital accounts with the strong passwords, unique strong passwords. And if kaya, palitan nyo siya periodically. Make a complex passwords for every account. bibigyan ko kayo ng tip in creating passwords. Make it as a sentence, not related to your birthday, to your family members. For example, um, my favorite color is red. Red 111. So, it's a sentence that is also a can be used as strong password. Lalo na kung hindi mo naman favorite color yung red. So, it's a trick password. So, think before you click, no? Avoid suspicious links and attachments. So, 'di ba, our subscriptions in several service provider have been uh anong tawag dito? Reminding us to not click any links kahit minsan galing pa siya sa Paymaya or GCash, no? It seems legit, but if kailangan mag-click ng link, no, don't, no? Don't click any suspicious link and attachment. Update regularly your software if using computer, and make or ensure that your applications are up to date, because uh, yung mga applications that are not up to date are prone to security concerns. Privacy settings, review and adjust your social media, and privacy of your application used, no? And lastly, report suspicious activity. If you see something suspicious, then report it to the proper authority. Okay? And that ends my presentation. So I do hope the limited time that I have, nag-exceed lang ako ng 13 minutes. I'm so sorry. But I was told that I should end my presentation in 5:30 to allow more questions. But ayun, so that ends my presentation. Then sige, we can proceed with our, kung may questions ang ating mga members of Pix Pro or our audience. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for Attorney Jason for this very insightful and comprehensive what do you call this discussion about the topic, no? I really enjoy it at the same time, no? I gathered a lot of knowledge about this, no? Pero attorney, meron po kaming mga question coming from our viewers. No, yung first question po is what's this? The question po is, for complaints of an ordinary citizen versus a big enterprise, is the process not easy po ba? Parang ganon.
Okay. If the case is against the corporation or entity, no? So, kailangan mo munang malaman kung saan siya registered. What type of um anong tawag dito? Anong personality nung company? Is it a sole proprietor or a corporation registered in SEC? If it is a corporation, no, you have to ensure that muna, tingnan mo muna kung SEC registered siya, Security Exchange Commission. Kung hindi siya, it's just a partnership or sole proprietor na may business, no, you can check with DTI or the Department of Trade and Industry. Bakit importante 'yon? Kasi if corporation ang 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 ifa-file mong case against, the liability will be given or will be vested to the board of directors, depending on the bylaws of the corporation, board of directors or kung sino yung the actual personnel who committed the um, prohibited laws or prohibited acts, no, defined by RA 10173 or 10175. So yun yung extra layer of diligence that you need to undertake before filing a complaint. Because if you lobbying it or lodging it the complaint to NPC or National Privacy Commission, you will be asked by NPC what type of or who is the respondent, no? And at least you know the expectation. If it's a corporation, then you'll be battling against to a bigger authority or bigger personality. Then that's one. So you have to ensure that your complaint are supported by evidence, because on the other aspect of it, if your complaint is fictitious or you have other or there's a lacking evidence on your part, and there was an injury on their part because of the um complaint you lodge, no, pwedeng mag-counter offense or counter complaint sila sa'yo. So, yun yung mga extra reminders that you have to take note before lobbying it to a competent authority. So, the rule of thumb is make sure that your evidence or your claims are supported by evidence. It's not just came from or stemmed from a hearsay or hearsay of different individuals, or it can be supported by several testimony, um, under oath by the witnesses, of course. So, dun sa question, if parang mas mahirap ba, may mga layers lang na diligence that you have to take note before filing a complaint.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay po, thank you po, attorney. Sana po nasagot na. The question po is from Sir Mario, okay? Another question po, I think kaya pa naman po ng oras natin. This is from another viewers po natin, no? Sir Joseph Padua. From Sir Joseph Padua po. The question, attorney, is, given the rapid evolution of AI and big data, how urgently must RA 10173 be amended to effectively address the emerging data privacy risks they present? This is
Okay.
yes, attorney.
Okay.
Question.
So, parang pang Miss Universe yata yung question.
Yes po.
Anyway. Anyway. Hindi. Siguro I cannot kasi the question is parang on the burden of our Congress, because RA1, yung mga amendment of our laws, dadaan pa din yan sa Congress. And I think, no, the Congress has been recognizing the evolution of artificial intelligence. They've been in the Committee of Information and Communication of both chambers, Senate and the lower house. They have been recognizing the existence of artificial intelligence and how it affects the data privacy of one's individual. So, on how our laws will be amended, I cannot guarantee. Kasi, it depends on the political climate. But of course, how the our legislative bodies will treat this as an urgent, no, or priority, and priority legislative act, then that's how accelerated will the amendment be implemented. So I know that at some point medyo para napapag-iwanan tayo if ganyan yung isipin natin, laws are cannot easily be enacted in today's day and age. But yun nga, what we can do is if there are violations, no, of course I think the the National Privacy Commission, as the front of um the implementation of these laws, they recognize how AI affects the privacy of the citizen. So, and our laws, if we will check it, um, at some point, to some extent, mako-cover pa rin naman niya, even wala yung artificial intelligence dun sa definition. As long as there's unauthorized access or processing of data or information, regardless of the medium or tools used, there is a violation of these laws, then the injured individual can file a complaint before NPC. Siguro ang kailangang i-address ng Congress is how can our existing mechanism would pinpoint the one who violated in the age or era of artificial intelligence, because I think that's quite um overwhelming on the part of the law enforcement agencies. So the law enforcement agencies have to step up and come up with a more secured processes to make sure that they can easily track the one who offended the individuals concerned. So yan.
Okay, pa. Thank you po, attorney. Ma'am Andy, anything that you would like to ask to attorney po, Sir Vince, Ma'am Icon?
Ako for me, siguro parang take away lang dun sa lahat ng diniscuss ni Attorney Jason. So medyo, I think talagang kulang po yung time, no? Talagang kinompress lang ni Attorney Jason yung discussion to fit with our time. And for me, no, as a takeaway, as a professional in teaching academic institution. So bukod sa tinuturo natin sa students natin, no, personally, individually, we should be able to know our rights, no? So ngayon ka lang din na parang mas nalinawan yung mga binanggit ni attorney in terms of awareness in digital rights and responsibilities natin. And sabi ko nga kanina dun sa klase ko habang nagdi-discuss si Attorney Jason, makinig kayo kasi gumagawa po sila attorney ngayon ng capstone. And 'di ba, whenever we try to develop a system, hindi maiiwasan talaga na nag-gather sila ng data, lalo na pag i-implement nila 'yon, papagamit nila yung system nila and the users will be, putting their data into the system. So usually tinatanong talaga namin kung paano nyo i-keep, no? Paano yung data privacy ng inyong mga users. So I think very kailangan talaga as the developer na marunong tayo kung paano natin i-handle ng tama yung data na nilalagay natin dun sa mga system natin. And nakakatuwa din po yung mga examples na i-discuss ni attorney kanina na very timely tsaka very relatable sa ating lahat, no, yung paggamit ng social media. So doon ko din na realize if you allow, no, yung mga pictures, photos or any information pala na pinopost mo, if you allow it publicly, then it's not private, no? Ganun po ang aking takeaway. So if you know your rights, no, you will be able to protect yourself. So it's important na binabasa natin or aware talaga tayo, alam natin yung mga laws na nilagay or nandyan para protektahan tayo. At the same time, kapag may nakomit na crime against us, we know how to handle and what to do. Okay? Yan lang po muna. At I think very short yung time. Parang nabitin nga po ako.
Yes,
Maybe
actually,
we
Ma'am
can do a
Andy.
part 2 po ba,
Pero,
Attorney Jason, in the
Pwede,
future?
pwede naman. Pwede naman. We
Pero Ma'am
can,
Andy, pwede pa ba nating itanong kay attorney yung dalawang question coming from our viewers? I think kaya pa naman po kasi it's 5:54 na lang
Parang
po.
kaya pa, sayang naman yung question
Okay.
nila. Okay
Mukhang
Go
lang.
ahead.
ready naman si attorney. Attorney, we still have another 2 question, no? This is from Sir Ben Isra po. The question is, who are the recipient of the penalty if data from a service company was compromised or used inappropriately?
Sorry, ano?
I'll
Naglag
repeat
ng
the
konti.
question po. The question po is from Sir Ben Isra. The question is, who are the recipient of the penalty if data from a service company was compromised or used inappropriately?
Ayan. I think na-address natin yan kanina. If yung service provider ang the one who compromised the unauthorized access, then generally if it's a corporation, ang magiging liable is the board of directors of the corporation. If partners naman, of course, the members or members of the partnership. Kung sole proprietor yung service provider, then of course the proprietor of the business. So kaya sabi ko kanina, we have to understand anong nature or ng identity nung the one we are complaining against para alam natin who will be liable.
Yes, ayan. Kasi kaya lang po namin gusto itanong for this, we want to deliver this satisfaction, yung satisfaction para dun sa mga audience natin. No,
Alright.
attorney, last question na po ito. This is the
Sige.
final question actually. What action is the NPC taking to hold PhilHealth accountable for the data breach? And what penalties could be imposed?
Ito ba yung sa PhilHealth?
Yes po, yes po.
Ay nako, hindi ako cognizant dun sa case. So I think I cannot comment on that kasi there's an existing deliberation yan kay Supreme Court.
Ayan.
So I suggest you follow the Supreme Court Facebook page or YouTube or may Twitter din sila. Merong oral arguments on the case of the PhilHealth. So,
Thank you
ayun.
so much, attorney. Ayan, tuloy, naging first runner-up na lang si attorney ngayon. Well, anyway, thank you so much, attorney. How about you, Sir Vince? Si Ma'am Icon, baka po meron kayong mga takeaways. May gusto kayong sabihin. Sir Vince muna, or Ma'am Icon. Nakikita ko si Ma'am Icon. Hello, Ma'am Icon. Ma'am Icon, parang nakaano po ata yung microphone, yung nakamute. Ayan, parang nagkakameron ng problem si Ma'am Icon. Sir Vince, habang hinintay natin si Ma'am Icon. Hello, Sir Vince. Ang pogi naman ni Sir Vince.
Hello,
Grabe.
sir. Hi,
Hello.
attorney. So, yun po,
Hello.
kumbaga, based po dun sa topic ni attorney na na-deliver sa atin. So, napakaganda. Kumbaga, timely talaga siya na kung saan dapat natin malaman yung kahalagahan in terms of data privacy. So, alam naman natin, sa mundo natin, papunta tayo sa innovation. At pag pinagsama yung data at technology, talagang andun yung powerful in terms of enhancement of emerging technology. Ano po? So, yun lang naman po at kumbaga ay napakaganda ng topic natin.
Yes, thank you so much, Sir Vince. How about you, Ma'am Icon? Ayan.
Hello,
Ayan.
narinig na ako? Okay na?
Okay na po, Ma'am Icon.
Okay. So, ayan, once again, good afternoon po, sir, and sa lahat. So, siguro yung takeaway ko, so sa part ng mga students, ako ngayon din lang naging parang yung awareness ko, no? When it comes to data privacy, so napakalaki pala ng mga penalties. Pagka nakapag-commit ka with regards to data privacy. And so siguro yun nga, so bilang mga end users, so it's very important na talagang gawin natin yung yung dapat or maging responsable tayo every time na tayo ay gagamit ng mga social medias, anything sa ating mga accounts. So yun, so siguro, and lalo na sa mga students, no, siguro ngayon kahit paano yung awareness nila when it comes dito sa mga law, hindi lang sa data privacy, so napakahalaga. Alamin natin ito. So siguro yun, that's all po.
Sir
Okay.
Kim, siguro i-add ko lang din, nalimutan kong
Sige
sabihin
po.
kanina, kasi nabanggit ni Ma'am yung nabanggit din ni attorney, yung katulad din natin, no, umamin kayo, yung nanonood dyan, binabasa nyo ba yung mga end user licensing agreement na chinecheck nyo pag nagjo-join kayo ng mga applications or social media, di ba? Minsan check lang tayo ng check ng mga agreement, pero hindi natin tinitingnan kung ano ba yung coverage nung gino-join na natin. Ano yung gagawin nila sa data natin. So dapat aware tayo at tinitingnan natin 'yon.
Ayan.
Opo.
Ayan. So maraming salamat po sa ating mga namin, sir, no? And also, I would like to say thank you to our viewers sa ating FB Live. Napakadami. No, binibilang ko talagang napaka-active nila mag-comment. Good afternoon po from different places sila, no? At nakakatuwa na habang binabasa ko is meron talagang engagement yung nangyayari doon sa ginagawa natin. At sabi ko nga, ako very significant sa akin yung topic. It's very significant, you know what? Because in this contemporary world, talagang grabe yung paggamit ng technology. Hindi talaga may iwasan kasi ito na yung mundo. Pero ako, yung takeaways ko lang, kasi si Sir Vince, Ma'am Icon, and Ma'am Andy, they are the IT expert. Ako yung hindi. Pero isang bagay, nahiya tuloy ako ay attorney, no? Isang bagay lang yung alam ko sa paggamit ng mga bagay na ito. Yung think before you click, no? Be responsible lang sa paggamit siguro nung mga ganito. Tsaka, alam mo yun, ang tawag dito, simple lang yung paninindigan ko pagdating sa ganyan. Hindi ko naman kinakailangan pakialaman yung buhay ng iba. Ang mahalaga, responsable ko dun sa ginagawa ko. Simple as that, okay? So sa ating mga viewers, no, be responsible lang sa paggamit ng mga ginagawa natin, no? Okay. Ma'am Andy?
Sir Kim, nandito pa kasama pala natin pa si Sir Mario. Sir Mario, may i-add po kayo?
Ay, hello po, Sir Mario. Hello?
Yeah, may time pa ba? Next, narinig ko lang yung about yun sa baka may next time. Maganda kasi yung discussion about yung penalty, yung realization nyo. But I think could be a good topic maybe next time. As kayo kasi mga technical, mga nag-implement ng system, how we can how we can have how we can protect the data coming from this individual. Baka
Yes,
lang,
sir.
baka next week.
Yes, sir.
Medyo tight lang.
Apo. Yes. Noted
Okay.
on that, sir.
Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
bye-bye.
Ayan,
Bye.
talagang very short po yung time na allotted for us, no?
Hindi,
So, thank
maganda
you.
lang yung topic.
Ayan, yes. At maganda din po talaga yung topic. Kaya nga parang I think we need part 2.
Okay. Bye-bye. See you.
See you, sir. Sir Kim, we can continue po. Nakamute ka, Sir Kim. Nakamute po.
So sorry, natataranta ako, no? Ganito talaga pala pag live.
Yes.
Oh my God. So ayan, so hindi natin palalampasin yung araw na to na hindi tayo makakapagpasalamat, no? I-honor natin, i-recognize natin yung na-share sa atin ni Attorney Chase. Talaga namang kinulang po kami, Attorney, pero sabi nga po ni Ma'am Andy ay may next ano pa daw po ito, next pa na, may mga susunod pa, may second round, okay? So ayan, so allow me first to share the certificate of what they call this. Pwede po ba, Ma'am Andy, mag-share, no? Sa screen? Ng screen?
Yes, sir. You can share po.
Okay. Kikita po ba, ma'am? Ma'am, nakikita po?
Wala po, Sir Kim.
Hala, bakit po? Wait lang po ba?
Ayan po.
Ayan na. Ayan.
Apo.
Okay. Kita na, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ayan. So, allow me po to read first the Certificate of Appreciation, no? Philippine Institute of Cybersecurity Professional Certificate of Appreciation is presented to Attorney Jason Francisco for gracing the Kwentuhang Cybersecurity, Digital Privacy, and Cyber Laws in the Philippines, Understanding Your Rights under RA 10173 and 10175 as its research speaker on March 14, 2025 from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. via Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Signed by the chairman and founding president of the PixPro, Mr. Angel Redoble. Maraming salamat po.
Ayan. Thank you po, Attorney Jason. And I hope no, hindi po ito yung last natin na Casey na makasama kayo. And ma-invite po ulit namin kayo sa susunod.
Ayan.
And
So maraming salamat po, Attorney Jason. Pero bago po yan, ay meron po kaming ituturo ni Ma'am Andy sa inyo, Attorney Jason. Okay, Ma'am Andy, do the honor.
Ayan. Sir, every time we close our Casey, meron po tayong sign na ginagawa and meron tayong saying so we use the symbol 3, no? Parang okay, ayan. So ito po yung symbol natin ng PixPro and then we say happy lang, walang weekend. Kasi po pag
Happy
sa
lang,
cybersecurity,
walang weekend.
yan. So sabay-sabay po
Sabay-sabay
tayo.
po
Okay,
tayo.
1,
Ready
2,
po.
3. So
Kailangan po siguro naka-open yung mga microphone ni Ma'am Andy, ni Ma'am Icon, ni Mr. Vince. Ayan.
ayan.
Okay, ayan.
Ready po, para kita po ng mga bata, para gayahan po ng ating mga viewers. Okay, ready? Bibilang po ako. Ano nga po yun, Ma'am Andy?
Happy lang.
Happy lang,
Walang weekend.
Okay, ready?
Okay.
1, 2, 3, go! Happy lang.
Happy lang,
walang
walang
weekend.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you so much. Maraming salamat po, Attorney Jason. Sana po ay makadaupang palad muli namin kayo sa mga susunod na panahon. At ikinagagalak po ng aming mga puso na kayo ay makadaupang palad namin sa kahit online. No? Maraming salamat po. At sa lahat po ng mga nanood ngayong araw na ito, maraming salamat po. Of course, thank you so much sa PixPro Quezon Chapter. No? Maraming salamat po. Ma'am Icon, Sir Vince, and of course, the beautiful one, Ma'am Andy. Maraming salamat po. Okay? I am your host again, Sir Kim. Okay, maraming salamat
Thank you
po.
po. Thank you po, attorney.
Attorney, maraming salamat.
Thank you po, attorney.
Thank you.
Salamat po.
Okay.
Thank you po.
Thank you,
Goodbye,
bye.
everyone.
Bye.